Good morning, I'm Larry O'Brien, Vice President of Research at ARC Advisory Group, and I'm here at the 2026 ARC Industry Forum. And I have with me today Srinath Nagarur, who is a Chief Segment Officer at LTTS, or also known as L&T Technology Services. Major company from India that does engineering and software and many, many things. I think most people don't know the breadth of the things that you do. I say that all the time. I'm constantly surprised, by the many things that you're doing these days. So I just have a few questions about what you're doing right now. So LTTS continues to help its customers progress along with their digital transformation journeys. That's obviously still a huge thing right now in industry. And I was wondering if you could tell us what are some of the technologies that your customers are buying, and maybe some of the key success stories from the past year.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. L&T Technology Services is deeply involved in digital transformation programs across multiple industries, and more importantly in the industrial space, right? And today, one of the biggest challenges our customers are facing are predominantly focused on data and the utilization of data and the contextualization of data. So over the period of time, a lot of systems, a lot of technologies and everything else has been brought into play to incorporate data, but there is a large volume of data that customers are sitting on. And contextualizing that to drive specific use cases, specific productivity performances, or even optimizing efficiencies are areas that we are seeing a huge drive happening. So today, for us, our responsibility is focused on data engineering, data management, contextualization of data, identifying the use cases, creating stories around what they want to accomplish, whether it's on the process side, whether it's on the discrete manufacturing side, but essentially helping them go through this transformational journey of making sense of the data that they are collecting over a period of time. That's a big role that we play. There are a lot of systems that comes along the way. We're very system agnostic. So our focus is to keep abreast with the latest technology that is out there and ensuring that we're focusing on the output that we are going to be generating.
Yeah, that is not an easy task to do.
Absolutely.
And actually getting your data conditioned, to the point where you can effectively use AI, I think is one of the huge challenges out there right now. So I'm glad to hear that you're helping users actually get that done.
Absolutely. See, I think we keep talking about AI, and at L&T Technology Services, we are spending a lot of effort on identifying what AI means, in the context of what I was talking about for digital transformation. So it's not just about leveraging AI for the sake of AI, but really understanding what automation can bring in and what AI can bring in to drive the focus that we are on at this point in time. So it is more of a means to an end at this point in time. So we are also looking at AI as a functional tool to help our customers drive through this transformation as well.
Yeah, it's more than a buzzword for industry. I think it really is a key enabler now.
Yep.
And we do have some real solutions right now as well. Based on what you've been doing in 2025, what do you think are some of the key initiatives that are going to improve your value proposition to the customers for 2026 and beyond?
See, I think we have seen an explosion of activities around transformation, and a lot of it is driven because of the volatility that's there in the market. And one of the biggest things that the customers are dealing with is the reaction time to the changes that are happening in the industrial environment. So I think the time to market, getting their programs out there on time, et cetera, are things that we are seeing repeatedly out there. So for us, I think our focus is to be ready by leveraging the technology know-hows that we have across different platforms, different technology areas and things like that, so that we can be ready to serve the client in that space of the time to market kind of a scenario. So we are doing a lot of collaborations with the industry majors, whether you take on the GPU side with companies like NVIDIA's and the Qualcomm's of the world, or even on the technology side with like Databricks, or it could be any of the other data lake tools that is out there, Snowflakes and things like that, just to make sure that we are abreast with everything that's happening from a technology standpoint, but contextualizing that in the problem statement that we are solving for our customers.
Yeah, that contextualization is important. Let's talk about edge technologies for a second. Edge obviously is becoming a hugely growing component of IIoT, convergence, and automation and production. How have your company's convergence solutions taken engineering technology into account, and I know you have lots of engineering expertise. Is the digital thread a key component of your company's convergence solutions?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think. See, one of the things that you need to understand is that we come into this engineering services space as a company that services products as well. So there is a lot of product engineering work that we do, and edge technologies are basically the components that really either capture data, analyze data, or even compute data. So we understand the complete stack of any product. Whether it's a connected product or it's some product that needs to get connected. So we do a lot of work on optimizing the performance of edge computing. We optimize the performance of the components at the edge, or even managing the data in terms of realizing the value that the data can bring at any given time. So I think that experience helps us a lot, especially when we are doing IIoT convergence, because there is a lot of, I would say, compute power that is available at the edge that can enable faster processing and faster decision making for companies in the OT environment. And since we bring in that experience of the product as well, it becomes very contextual to what's happening in the industrial environment, either it's in discrete space or in the process space.
Yeah, we are definitely seeing that push, to bring more of that computing power, as close to the edge as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the side effects, I think, is also cybersecurity risk, right?
Absolutely.
So with cybersecurity, it's always one of the biggest challenges in industrial automation and enterprise markets. How is LTTS supporting its customers in cybersecurity services and solutions and partnerships?
See, I think right now, I'll break this into two parts. So one is the product security and the second is the OT security, right? So we are engineering, so we don't do as much of work on the IT side of things, but as long as there is a convergence between OT, IT, we get involved in that. We do a lot of work on the product security side, on products that actually go into industrial environments that need a core security at a product level. So we are involved in identification of gaps, threat modeling, looking at the analysis on the performance of the product, and more importantly, with the CRA that's getting implemented and which is also a time-bound activity for product security, we are doing some extensive work on doing activities associated with that at a product level. Now that is going to get extended into an OT because now you're operating in a system environment with the same set of products. So the product could be secure, but the operational environment need not be secure. And depending on how the progression of the individual industrial plants are working or things like that, we also get involved in the OT security piece. And with OT security, we have a lot of industry alliances, whether it's a Palo Alto or a Clarity and things like that. Essentially, that helps us enable providing services at the company level, depending on where they are in their life cycle. And there are two things that are happening here, Steve. One is organizations are doing OT security at a plant level, and it's a very distributed activity. But there are organizations that are also involved in centralizing their strategy around OT security. And we are also involved in helping them devise those strategies, whether it's going to be incorporating a product security into an OT context, or whether to build out an OT security management kind of a thing there.
Yeah, we definitely see that happening too. I think a lot of companies are finding that it's becoming increasingly difficult to manage, all these different cybersecurity solutions from different people and different plants. And
absolutely,
we're seeing more of a standardized approach to that as well. With ecosystems being so important to compete in a globally competitive market, could you share with us your thoughts and the process that you go through regarding developing LTTS ecosystems and partnerships?
I think it's such a rapidly evolving world today. So I think, as I said, our customers are really racing against time, and especially with a volatile environment, they are trying to look at the shortest possible route to get to the objectives that they are setting themselves up for. So I think that's the same case for us as well. We don't have all the answers. So we are going to be creating a collaborative environment where we are going to continuously explore partnerships that are going to enable our larger objective. So I think partnerships are very, very key to us, whether it's on the technology side, whether it's on the infrastructure side, or whether even it's on the innovation side of things. So we have two different organizations within LTTS. One that's focused on looking at what's ahead in the future. What are the kind of technologies we need to harbor? Like, for example, we've signed a large-scale engagement with one of the leading semiconductor providers that provide GPU performance for us. And we are trying to build that ecosystem to enable us to develop technologies that need a very high level of compute. We are also signing up with a lot of the application providers who have readily available solutions that can be customized to drive some of these digital transformations that I'm talking for the customers as well. So I think partnerships is very critical. It's a mainstay for us, and we will continue to invest more and more into that area.
Very good. Well, I think we're out of time, and thank you very much for joining us today. Again, I'm Larry O'Brien, Vice President of Research at ARC Advisory Group, and we've been talking to L&T Technology Services here at the ARC 2026 Industry Forum. Hope to see you again next year, and we'll be talking more about some of the things we've talked about today. Thanks.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.